All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Denonu, and welcome to the Neo Digital Podcast. And I'm here with my homie.
Jolly, what's up, y'all?
And with this one here, I had mentioned to Jolly about the Monster Hunter movie, and he gave me this weird look, like he didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Mm-mm, I didn't.
So, we figured we'd make a reaction video talking about it, and we can probably talk shit about it. Because just to let you know, this has the what's her name, Mila Jovovich, the white lady from Resident Evil movies.
Ah, okay.
I think this is directed by the same guy because it's her husband. No, he did those movies.
Okay.
So just to let you know what kind of movie you're gonna be getting.
She's in it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and this is by Sony.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, but based on the video game franchise Monster Hunter, which is
Okay.
about hunting creatures, crafting weapons to kill bigger and better creatures. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just put that in your mind. You've seen the game, so this is
Yeah.
what the movie is. So
Yeah.
prepare to be disappointed.
Oh.
Because in the game you always had to craft your military M4.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. You can see where they're going with it.
Oh, T.I. is in it?
Now this is my first time seeing this too, so I have not seen this either.
T.I. is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, if they don't get teleported to some fucking ancient place with a bunch of fucking forests or wood everywhere, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
Funny that you said that.
Where the hell are we?
That lightning, it hit those markers and it took us somewhere.
Ooh.
Gas.
So what? Are we like Guardians of the Galaxy now?
Really?
Yeah,
Wait. Pause it. That wasn't him, was it?
Chris Pratt now.
Oh, okay.
No, they probably cut to him just because he had the same kind of beard and he's a white guy.
He looks like Chris Pratt. Like when he's,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? You went from Marvel to do this?
Such a downgrade, but
Yeah, bros.
Dog.
no, it's not.
Did you see that thing?
This is not the Monster Hunter I know.
This is officially above my pay grade.
I don't care.
I wonder if that was supposed to be the chick that helps you out.
Destroy them.
I will say this: they do got the sword that looks right.
I'm getting us all home.
And I'm not feeling the whole military stuff, but
Thank you.
I
I'm
don't know.
about to say.
I guess Hollywood has to add all the modern military stuff to kind of bring the audience into all the people who don't know shit about Monster Hunter.
I got it. I already got it.
Took down the Osprey.
Dog. They got the monsters right though.
Yeah, they did. I will say that. They got Tony Jaa wearing, I think, the outfit, and his sword looks like the one from the game. That's cool. I mean, I think they should have got a buffer guy to use it because that sword looked bigger than him.
Now, see, here's the thing. Like, you play Monster Hunter, the sword can be
Yeah.
bigger than you, and
Yeah,
like they
you're right.
still lifting it.
Yeah, you're right. But what you think of the whole military going sent to Fantasy Island?
All right. So I don't really like the whole military idea, but if anybody goes, it will probably be them, especially if they're like on a mission to go do something and they just so happen to
Yeah.
go there. Um, if this was gonna be like, because they did this on Godzilla,
Yeah.
no, is it
Mhm.
Godzilla? No, Kong, Skull Island. They did this.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Hollywood thing where you introduce the human element to. They're going to be the people you follow throughout the movie to,
Mhm.
to learn everything, and it's just that same Hollywood story.
Yeah.
So
I do like the idea that okay, military guys go here, you go here with like these fucking giant ass bazookas and shit like that, and then you realize that shit don't
Don't
work on
work.
these people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that idea because then you got Tony Jaa here, and he's like, you ain't
You
gonna kill
got
nothing
you
with
got to
those
make your
things.
own weapons and yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
It's like it's then that's when the game element takes place. It's like not only do you have to make your own weapons, but there are certain ways to kill certain monsters. Because like even in Monster Hunter, you can't just go around just killing
Yep.
everything with the exact same way. You
Yep.
know, sometimes you may have to get this, you may have to get this item, you may have to get these power ups, this poison, these barrels, or whatever.
Mhm.
For these specific creatures, and then each creature has a specific way to kill the other creature. Sometimes you may have to sick one creature, like you have to lure it to fight another creature, so
Yeah.
that way it can weaken it for you, or you got to like chop off his tail.
Yeah, it's the tactics behind the game.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're gonna see all that in the movie though, but it's. I mean, I'm hoping that they at least allude to it because that's the whole point of the game, and
yeah.
I'm assuming that the Diablos, the other monsters, are trying to take out whatever the human settlement is where Tony Jaa's from, and
Mhm.
he probably has a revenge boner on killing the thing, and so it's you can see where they want to take the story, but it really reminds me of I read a book I want to say like 2 years ago, which was about a modern military unit in Afghanistan getting sent back in time,
Mhm.
and the whole book kind of pissed me off because it sent them back in time along with like other soldiers and let's say civilians from all across the timeline
Mhm.
back to one moment in the past, and
Mhm.
they never kind of explained who was doing that. But it's about the same thing, similar, where it's like they got sent back in time and they had to survive. That this whole intro of them getting sent to the other place reminds me of that. So it's I don't know. It seems like a typical, not necessarily monster movie, because when I say monster movie, most people are going to probably think of like a scary type Godzilla movie. It's like it don't remind me of that, but those movies where it's like, oh look, you have these team of people, and then you have different things trying to kill them as the movie
Yeah,
goes on, and it ramps up bigger and bigger and bigger until you fight whatever the big creature is at the end.
yeah.
It seems like they took Monster Hunter and put that theme on it, and
Well, that's what Monster Hunter is.
yeah,
Like,
so
if
it fits.
anything, I've seen this too many times,
Mm-hmm.
so it's getting kind of monotonous. But at the same time, it's like if any game was that formulaic, it would be Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
It's fight the lowest level creature until you can work your way up to the biggest creature in the game.
yeah.
It's like that's what it's supposed to be. What I don't like about it, honestly, I just kind of wish that they just didn't do the whole military thing and just put me,
Make it in the fantasy world. Yeah, that would be
yeah,
better.
put me in the fantasy world. You ain't like they do this too much. Like they give you a good premise, like even with Dragon Ball and like all the
Mm-hmm.
other anime-ish type things, they always try to find a way to add a human element to it. Like Sonic, they did the same thing with
Yeah.
Sonic. Let's put Sonic in the real world and then like this. I'm like,
Let's
no, no, no,
have
no.
him
Just
act opposite of Cyclops.
take me take me to Mobius. You know what
Yeah,
I
you
mean?
don't have to do that. Your audience is not that stupid to where they can't watch
Yeah.
something else, because otherwise the games, books, the animes, none of that would sell.
Yeah.
Like if that was the case, it's not the source material that's the problem. It's just you believing in your audience. Like, oh, your audience, oh, they're not gonna like that, so we have to do this based on
Yeah.
previous track history,
No,
and
I
that's
don't
all it
need
is.
I don't
Yeah,
need that. Just like put it in the fantasy world and I'll be okay with that. Start me off like in a world, these creatures, blah blah blah. Cool. Just make the story good. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
all I care about. But doing this shit, like just to like you need name people. Yo, can you go back and pause it at that fucking sword, man? Every time the sword shows up, I want to stare at it. It's so dope.
All right.
Like that's some cosplay level shit. That's like super cosplay.
Let me see if I can get it again. Get it when
Even
he.
the bow and arrow stuff.
Yeah, that's straight from the game. Crap.
Every time.
Yeah, I gotta get it a second before it doesn't.
Yep. Mm,
Yeah, that's right from the game.
mm.
I had that bow.
Yo, I have a picture on my phone right now from when me and Razo went
Hmm.
to the anime con. last year, or was it? Yeah, I think it was last year. And there was this cosplayer. It was a few people doing Monster Hunter, and they made their own armor. Oh my goodness, it was so dope. One of them had that sword.
Man.
It looked so. It was huge like that. It was so clean, bro. I think I took a picture with him, or I took a picture of him. His shit was dope. But this is what I don't like about this.
Mhm.
This is one of those. They put enough money behind it to where the CG looks amazing, right? The
Mhm.
monsters look amazing, but they got these I don't want to say B-rate actors,
I'm
you
gonna
know?
say it. I'm not a fan of Mila Jovovich. I liked her in her older stuff, but like ever since Resident Evil, she can't fucking act. And if this movie's gonna have the same tone of that, because that was all just like female worship, and because her husband was making the movie, so the whole point of the movie was like, or at least the nose was, they got away from Resident Evil
Yeah,
to be like, oh, let's make my wife look like a badass. And
yeah,
that's what this seems like it's trying to be. I'm hoping it's not. I'm really hoping it's not. But I'm not a fan of that because the acting in this movie is gonna suck. I can already see that. Tony Jaa
right.
is gonna probably be decent because he's gonna probably be the revenge guy.
He
But
plays these kind of roles good
yeah,
though.
yeah, he's gonna be the angry like revenge guy. We all know how good Ti's acting ability is.
Uh,
And Mila Jovovich she's not super great either. So it's just the people we're
like,
gonna be seeing on screen is just gonna be boring half the time.
you know, that's one thing I don't like about that whole idea is that okay, first off, when I say B-rate actors, I want to be an actor, but it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, these people are
Well, you
actually
are
in
an
some
actor.
shit.
It ain't no wanna be. You've been in shit before.
Yeah, but not to this extent. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to shit on anybody because at least they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing from an acting standpoint, it's like from the stuff that I know, that acting is bad, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and they do that every time in these movies where they bring out these actors that don't really act for shit, and they always put them in military type roles. You ever
Transformers.
noticed? Yeah, Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? Battleship.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Uh,
Biggest I think the biggest star they had in
fucking
that was
Rihanna.
Rihanna. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
like Rihanna
the
was in it,
Battle
and
of
she
Los
was.
Angeles, Battleship you mentioned. Like any
Yep.
movie like that where they have like a generic military unit, it's never anybody. So you might have one famous face in there
Hmm.
that'll either be the main character or the commander. Like in Battleship, I think Liam Neeson was the girlfriend's dad or whatever, and
Yeah,
he wasn't the leader of that ship. He was the leader of one of the other ships. So
bro.
it's
It's like
yeah,
put them in something that they're always either yelling or they just have to be a badass or they're running from something or running towards something.
yeah.
It's never something that they're like just legitimately good in. It's just like, yeah, just have them running from something or just looking like a badass. And
Hmm.
I feel like these are the same actors that just never take any kind of acting lessons whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the trailer right now and I'm like, there's bad acting in this because I can see it. Like Ti, he bends down and he's like referencing the tracks. He's pointing at the tracks while he's talking about the tracks. It's like, nigga, everybody can see these big ass tracks right here. You ain't got to point and talk
Hmm.
about them. Like, look at these tracks, bro. Ain't I?
Pantomiming what you're doing and shit. This is like
Yeah, ain't I down here with you? Ain't we looking at them?
yeah.
You can just talk about them. You know what I
Like,
mean?
you know you don't get a point, right?
You know, I'm right here. I'm looking at them. It's like
You
that's like
mean
what.
these tracks here, right? Like oh,
Boom, right there, right
this
there.
big
Look at
track.
this. Look at this. Like, first off, everybody here there has the same level of training as you.
Yeah.
You ain't the track expert. You know what I mean?
You know, I'm surprised he's not Indian or half Native American, like like they do like in other movies back in the day.
I guess it's like one thing that like my acting coach buried into my head was like if you show it and
Show don't
you
tell.
yeah, well, it's if you say it and you show it, you have a documentary. Because like
That's cool.
yeah,
And if you're making a movie, not a documentary, why are you doing it that
yeah,
way?
yeah, don't show and talk about it. You can just talk about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's.
Other than that
Mhm.
shitty aspect of it, like if you just remove the military aspect and all those actors in it, I'm okay with if you just make this a Tony Jaa movie by itself and he's just going around, because that's basically what Monster Hunter is that you're by yourself until
Yeah.
you get another player in there. And look, hey, there's your player number 2. Home chick just lifted up her glasses.
Yeah,
Player
I'm
number
assuming
3.
that's gonna be like your helper chick, the one that was in the game.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like like I'd rather it be about like, let's say Tony Jaa had his little team of hunters, monster hunters, and let's say they were hunting some monster that they did all the fucking time, and this bigger Diablos monster came up and killed his team, so that pissed him off, and he's has a boner to go to try to kill it, and he has to work his way up to it.
That's Hollywood saying we need American actors to sell this movie. No,
Yeah.
you don't. No, you don't. Anime is so big and ain't nothing American about that shit.
Nope.
Like Dragon Ball Z is amazing. Like Naruto is amazing. Everyone know. My mother knows about Dragon Ball Z, bro, and Naruto.
Yeah.
She knew about Kami. Like, I was trying to show her my beard oil. She knew about Kami. So I was like, yeah, I know who Kami is. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I used to watch that stuff when you was at school. I was like, what? Like, we couldn't been talking about this the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? So like it's there. It's like you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't think about the American people are not. See, to me, it's that whole Republican side of things where everyone is so conservative. They don't think that any other culture or any other thing out there is going to influence America like that.
Yeah.
Where we can go
We're
watch
supposed
it.
to be the one influencing them, and not vice versa. Yeah.
Look how many people know about what was that movie called? I think it was Riot or something like that, or SWAT. I think it was SWAT, because they made like multiple movies of it. It was the one from like the Philippines where it had like Tony Jaa and a bunch of other people in it. I think it was Riot, where they were like going into the apartment complex fighting all those people.
The
Raid, yeah. Like look how many people knew about Raid when it came out. And watch
you know
that
how many
movie.
one-shot camera scenes we had ever since that movie came out,
bruh. Like the amount of people who didn't like Old Boy, you know, because they knew about the original Old Boy and was like that like everyone thought that like watching the remake of Old Boy was like that didn't make sense at the end. Like they hated the ending, but it's because Spike Lee didn't think. Yeah, he didn't like the original ending because he didn't like the whole incest thing and and that whole idea. It's like you think you don't like it, but you don't believe that your audience. You believe that your audience is just like you, and that's not true when it comes to like Eastern stories, Eastern games. America flocks to that shit because it's new, it's exciting, it's something that we've never seen and experienced before, and that's what we want. We want something new. We want to experience something that we've never seen before. So fantasy, especially Eastern fantasy, will work if you take the American Western like element out of it. It works. Honestly, it works better.
Yeah, we feel like we have to Americanize every damn thing, and that's not something we need to do. Like it really isn't. Like movies, we've been watching Asian movies and martial arts movies for like the longest fucking time. This can be sold just as like, oh, these, you could say like, okay, this takes place back in the past when monsters and shit used to be around. And the reason why they're Asian is because, let's say they're on a proto-Asian continent. So everybody's going to look Asian, you know, it's just, and then have something just happen like a cataclysm or something and all the monsters and shit got took away. You know, it's, I hate when they do that because it's like you said, it's not needed. It really isn't.
I think Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan got so good, like got so popular.
Yeah.
That didn't have anything to do with us.
Yeah.
We can't take claim for that shit.
Yeah. And it's like, we don't need the whole, oh, well, our audience isn't going to really, you know, get the movie. So we have to put together a military. We have to have that American human element in there. It's like, no, it already has a humanistic element in there with the other human characters you have in it. We don't have to have the whole, you don't have to explain a military team going back discovering shit. It's like, I guess they do that for the narrative because as they learn stuff, it's teaching us the world and they can kind of teach us the story at the same time. But you can just drop people into shit. And if that's the point of the movie, drop people in, let them discover shit on their own. And it's like, you people may say shit about it, but if you still have a good story or still have a great movie, people still gonna like it. There's plenty of weird movies that people watch where they be like, oh, you know what? I didn't get that one part, but that was still a really cool ass movie. You know, It's just I think that this is made by if this is made by the same company that makes the Resident Evil movies, it's just you're thinking from that corporate standpoint. Like you're just thinking like, okay, what worked? And they're judging all of those decisions based on shit that happened 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like now,
Also,
what?
these military people, like I'm just looking at it,
They're not military.
they're not.
It reminds
They're
me
really
of
not.
it reminds me of how they used to shoot military things back in the 90s and the 80s with movies there, where it's like nowadays, at least when you have a big budget movie, they get military people to come in there and train the actors on how to move, how to signal, how to do all that shit. So at least it looks military. The only way you probably won't tell is if you're in the military, because then you're gonna be like, oh, this is some bullshit. but yeah, this is just actors just waving guns around, not knowing what they're doing.
And they ain't even acting military.
No.
Like I've talked
they're
to
acting like Hollywood movie stars in
bro.
movies.
Yes, man. I've talked to real Marines, and they're like they've seen so much shit that nothing surprises them. Like they can be scared shitless on the inside, but outside, cool, calm, and collected. Man, they got to get to business. Like it. It just reminds me of like these are just people that panic. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you're just panicking, fucking military people.
Yeah, and that's not what that is. I mean, if you panic like that, they train that out of you in fucking boot camp, or at least the best they can.
Exactly.
That's the whole
Exactly.
point. I mean,
You
if
don't
you
have
panic, you're gonna
panic.
panic in your first gunfight.
Yeah. So showing her in the home chick in the cave, what the hell was that? Blah, blah, blah. Like, no, that's no.
That's
You wouldn't have that
stereotypical.
anymore. Yeah.
That's stereotypical horror movie cliche bullshit.
Look, oh shit, calm. I keep going back to it. Look like how motherfucker.
Samuel
You keep-
Jackson.
Thank you.
That's all you had to say.
Yeah, thank
shit, big bro. That's all you had to say.
Exactly. So the way Samuel Jackson acted in Kong,
Mhm.
it didn't surprise. Like he was like, oh, damn, he's a big motherfucker. Well, we gotta take him down. Like
Mhm.
he like that's how he was. Like that's how military people actually are. Because that fear shit, like as many times as I heard like my life coach talk about like military and like the things that they do and like how they're programmed to not have fear and how it's one of those it's a base need in humans to be afraid of things and they program that shit out of you. None of this shit should have freaked them out like that. You know what I mean? None of it. But okay.
All right.
Surprising, but whatever.
Yeah. But all right. Well,
Other than that, I will watch it.
Okay.
I will watch it because the CG looks amazing.
yeah. I would watch it. Not to pay them money for all the bullshit that they're doing in the movie, but I'd rather support this kind of sort of stuff than not support it because I want to see more of it. Maybe they'll get it right sometime. I just don't know. It's one of those things because I'm torn. I say that because I'm not a super big fan of Monster Hunter. So if I was, like when they make a Marvel movie or like a comic book movie and they fuck up, I'd be all in because that's my shit. So if I was a Monster Hunter fan, like a hardcore fan of that, and they made something like this, I'd probably go into it a whole lot more. But it's like, I guess by me not being that, I've only, really tried the new game, and I think I tried a little bit of the last game. But so maybe I'm not thinking about it all that much. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if fans really jump in and truly hate the movie or not. But I think it's gonna make some kind of money just based on the visuals anyway.
Yeah. I play it. I mean, sorry, I don't play it. I've watched gameplay of it. I've watched like story of it. I'm more of a fan of like get the source material right because this is the shit I care about. Video games, anime, cartoons, that's the shit I care about. Don't fuck it up because and here's the other thing. I know that Sony is just putting their name on it, but they didn't. I promise you, they didn't do the CG for this.
Hell no.
The CG for this was done overseas because they do CG way better than we do CG.
Really?
To me, yeah. Like fantasy CG like this, like monsters and shit like
fantasy.
that, they do it so great. Like the dragons and the clouds, particle effects. Look at that shit. It looks legit. Like that shit looks legit. And that only happens overseas. We get good stuff here, but over there, because of like labor laws and shit like that, they can produce this kind of CG for I don't want to say little to no money, but it doesn't cost the same thing as over here.
Yeah.
So over here, they have to skip on the budget. You can't skip on a budget like this. There's too many monsters. Like unless you're gonna do 2 or 3 monsters and then that's it. That's where it's gonna be like, that's not enough. You gotta do more.
And if your whole movie is about monsters and stuff, you have to make the CG look good because that's what the whole point of it is about.
Yeah.
I think the only studio that I think could actually do this better visually is probably Disney, just because they got the money to throw at it.
Yeah, I can see that.
And like with all their Marvel stuff outside of, well, I can't say not all of it because Black Panther was kind of horrible because they ran out of time with that one. but let's say like what they did with Thanos and Endgame, like that was some next level shit. If they put that kind of money towards something like this will look even far better. But
true.
But
they had billions of dollars to work with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They had, they threw money at the problem. Oh, I wanted to look better. I wanted to look better. But
the reason why I say it was done overseas is because CG scenes have a certain, Hollywood has a certain look for CG scenes.
Yeah.
Hollywood doesn't do like a lot of big landscape
wide open shots.
Wide shots because that's too much CG. They do like small shots here and there. Overseas, they do like these giant shots because they can do that. Like over there, they have the training for it, and they have since they do a lot of fantasy, they have way more time and training to do fantasy type things like monsters and shit like that because we don't do it that much over here.
Hell no.
Like shit, look at The Witcher. If you play the Witcher game, you fight monsters all the fucking time. From banshees to witches to fucking what are those called? The neckers.
I was about to bring them up, the things that come out of the water, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like you got so much stuff. But then when you watch the show, this motherfucker fought like 3 things. You know what I mean? Yeah. That was it. And some of it looked like prosthetic, like the fucking goat guys. Like
really? do your fucking job, Superman. Go fight monsters.
You know what I'm saying? Go fight actual cool monsters, except like just
go into a cave and get your ass whooped by like one of those super strong vampires.
The werewolves. Yeah. Like it's so many monsters in a Witcher game, but they don't have a budget to keep doing a bunch of CG. So they can't, so they revolve it around fucking politics and all this other shit and men, which in The Witcher, he didn't really deal with a lot of actual people because he didn't give a shit.
Well, socially, but in the game, you did talk to a lot of people a lot, so I guess you can always do it that way. But then again, they're basing it off the books, not the game, so that's
true. That's true. But I mean, I want to watch it for Tony Jaa and the monsters, but I don't want to watch it because of her and Tia.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I'm hoping it's good. Supposedly, from what they're saying, December. That shit probably ain't happening due to Corona, so who knows if it's gonna get pushed back. But they say like December, so we'll see. We'll probably check it out when it comes out. Since we're both interested in it, and maybe do another one of those let's watch videos if you guys want to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Final thoughts, Jolly? Anything else you wanna get out there before we end it?
Black chick fine as fuck, man. She's still fine, dog. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I forgot her name, but damn, she been fine in everything she been in, and she still look the same.
Why can't she be the main character?
Right?
Just saying.
Well, because they got her being super emotional. She's not a badass,
Man, it's acting, man.
I know.
Just have her act like a badass. There you go.
I know.
Problem solved.
But you even have a black lead actor, black female lead actor be like more badass than the chick that was in Resident Evil. I don't know why, but all right.
All right, fellas. But if you guys want us to see us do more reaction videos or
you already said that. Just say bye. Peace out, y'all.
Bye. Fuck it. End the video.